One more song. The songs that I like are always. Oh wait, I forgot to look for the lyrics. I was just like next song. Um, man, ADHD brain was like, I love this. We love it. We want to hear this song on repeat 24/7, and I did. But I had to kind of like stop because I knew it was gonna bother my siblings. I have lots to say about this one. Because I like it too. But the other one, like it repeat, So I couldn't say. Oh no, couldn't say much. Wait. I did say that I was trying to give, specific advice or suggestions for how to do certain things, and I totally forgot how to do that on the other one. Sorry. So when it comes to toxic relationship in general, the thing that will work best, that will help us the most, is to have a community, people who are kind of looking out for us, but we kind of have to be open to listening to them, right? Because if we get warnings from other people about how, hey, maybe this person's kind of, something sus about them, and we're not listening, then it's it's not going to be as helpful, right? So two things in this one. To prevent yourself from falling into a toxic relationship, again, like I said, whether it is with family members, at work, with friends, or with a romantic partner, having boundaries for yourself and ensuring that you are with someone who respects them, and that you are continuously putting up those boundaries again, and checking them consistently, and you're not allowing people to sort of walk all over them or break them whenever they shouldn't be any exceptions for that. And the other one is, again, to have a supportive community. The supportive community can look anything like just a group of really good friends who are helping you. It can look anything like a pastor or a priest, or a lawyer, or a therapist, a doctor. All of those can become part of sort of like your safe supportive community. Yeah. All right, now moving on to the next one. Let's see. For reals. Now we are moving to the territory of, this is for real, for real. Nothing but the truth now, right? Like, she's not hiding. In the first one that we analyzed in Golden, uh, in that one, she was like, "Oh, I want to be this. This is all my dreams." But then, she wasn't really accepting herself for who she was, so it didn't really work, right? Like, all her plans sort of like crumbled down. It didn't work, and now she said, like, "Okay, here's the proof. Here's who I am." Uh, the worst, so for her, it was the being half demon, right, was like the worst part. That was what she was ashamed of, the things that she didn't even understand, right? And she said, like, here's everything out in the open. You can see all my cards. I'm not like lying, right? And like I said, like, she tried to fix it, but it didn't work, right? She tried to fight it. Everything so was divided. It kind of collided, right? it uh it didn't help. Whatever she tried to do didn't really help for her. Because when we say one lie, you kind of have to consistently keep lying about something, right? Because people are going to be like checking in on us and be like, "Hey, how was that one party that you went to?" And if you lie about going to the party, you have to make another lie, and then another lie, and then if somebody asked you, and then if people at the party asked you, how come they didn't see you at the party, but they were at the party, then it's more lies and lies and lies and lies and lies, and it just becomes this complicated web of things, right? And that's kind of how it was in the movie, and it all sort of like collapsed in, because eventually she just couldn't keep track of all the lies that she said, or like they started to make no sense, and well, actually she got caught by her friends. And here is the one that I wanted to talk about the most. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side. Yes, I do. I will tell you why she didn't trust her friends, because her parent figure kept telling her, don't trust them, and therefore she didn't, and because she was afraid. um I, I don't know what the parent figure is, so I'm not gonna bother. But Rumi was very afraid. Like, several times throughout the movie, she kind of wanted to tell her friends who she was, but she would go ask advice from parent figure, and parent figure was like, no, they're gonna hate you if you do that, right? Like it was a very like a no, you hide yourself, you don't be who you are, you pretend to be someone, it's gonna go away, it will probably fix itself, maybe, possibly, kinda, right? And even when they were able to fix the thing, it didn't really fix her. Like it's just still part demon. Like her part demon didn't just evaporate or go away. It wasn't gonna happen like that. But that's kind of what the mom was hoping for, or the parent figure was kind of hoping for, right? Um. So yep, she grew up believing that nobody was gonna respect her, that nobody was gonna like her. So she kind of had to hold back. It was her fear and her parents' unrealistic expectation of what she needed to do that kept her away from actually connecting she was great friends with Zoe and I forgot the other Mira, but Rumi was still kind of holding back a lot, so they couldn't be as close as they wanted to because of that, because she was still holding back, and they noticed even like she was like, oh, maybe I did a great job at hiding and doing all these things. No, she didn't. They could tell. And again, when we lie or when we're pretending to be someone we're not, people can tell. The reason why people are kind of like, oh, there's like a weird vibe, we might not be able to necessarily point out what's weird about the person, but they're giving it off, right? So it can be anything about body language, tone of voice, or facial expressions that are too quick, but our brain somehow still picks up. That we kind of sometimes we pay attention to, sometimes we don't, or like that gut feeling that we have, right? It's something that we are sensing, but we're like, nah, it's probably not true. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay. I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back. I think we saw this happen quite a bit during COVID. Uh, a lot of things changed during COVID, and then when COVID wasn't such, when we were in such a state of emergency, when it came to COVID, we all kind of wanted to go back to how things were, but we could never go back. It's impossible because now we know so much more. We in the mental health field, we saw a lot of people ended up reaching out for therapy when they wouldn't have otherwise, because all the stress from COVID and not working and everything that was happening at that time sort of brought up the fact that, hey, I actually hate my job, I don't like it here, I'm in a horrible relationship, or this isn't what I envision, or like I'm completely burnt out and now I can't like go back to what I was doing before. And so it's impossible to can go back, right? So in this one now, Rumi has come to the conclusion that can't go back. So now I just need to to keep moving forward, right? So in the next line, we kind of see that where she's like, "But now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass." This reminds me of that. Yeah, what's a Japanese art where they fix things, broken things in gold? Um, Ba- 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 ba. It is called kintsugi. Kintsugi. And you can't put the pieces of a broken something back together because it's never gonna look the same again, right? So the kintsugi tradition is to fill in the gaps with gold, and it makes this beautiful pattern. And that's essentially what this reminds me of, right? And someone who has overcome something, they are never truly like 100% whole, because they have scars, they have experiences that have changed who they are, they have changed their mind, they have changed the way they see the world. But it doesn't make them any less valuable, or it doesn't make them any less worthy of things. But we tend to believe, I often hear it with people who are getting older, that they just keep saying things along the lines of like, I'm useless, I can't do this anymore because of my age, I can't do the things because I suffered a physical injury or because of my mental health. And I'm like, it just, you can still do the things that you love, but they're just gonna look a little and feel a little bit different, right? Maybe you can't go hiking every single day, but can you go out, you know, do a long drive in a scenic route, or sit at the beach, or something. You can still be a part of nature. It's just gonna look a little bit different. And so Rumi, yeah, eventually she said, like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I can't hide. It didn't work. And so the next strategy was actually better. And what we suggest most of the time in therapy, right? Just take ownership. This is who I am. I have depression, I have anxiety, I have ADHD, I'm autistic. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, you're both the dark and the harmony, right? Like the good and the bad, kind of thing. They're a part of who you are. Like, so why hide it? Because it doesn't do anything. It just makes it harder for us to no, it makes it hard for you if you're trying to sort of pretend someone you are not. um we are only human. That's one phrase that I repeat when I am in the therapy session, working with someone, or in my day-to-day life. I'm like, we're only human. We're gonna make mistakes. We're not gonna be perfect. We're all gonna be a little bit awkward. We're all gonna get shy and afraid, and it's just going to happen, and it's okay. It's nothing we ever need to hide, because the more we try to hide it, the weirder we come across, and people can sense it. So just flat out say it, like, I'm afraid of spiders, so please don't show me any spiders. Or like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to that a party. I'll rather stay at home. I'll meet you guys in the next one, right? You don't have to what's the word, uh, explain yourself. You just kind of have to like say it, like, right, again, set those boundaries with yourself and with other people. Oh, this is one of my favorite lines. Why did I cover up the color stuck inside my head? It this one again. When I started this whole thing, I said that I was gonna psychoanalyze this based on my own sort of like experiences. And for a very long time, I felt like I was covering up other colors, and every now and then I still feel like I'm covering up other colors, because then I come across as too eager, too too much of something. I have so many ideas of things that I want to do for the nonprofit, and whenever I talk to someone, they don't always see the same vision that I see. And sometimes I try to hide it, sometimes I try to hold it back, again, sometimes to fit in, or because it just becomes too much, or it's kind of lonely when I do express it and nobody really seems to understand, right? So um this line really uh showcases um Zoe's journey, right? Why did it cover, like, because she was the lyricist for the most part. So all of these ideas that she had, she kind of covered it up. But then when she found sort of like, I guess, this group of people that was accepting of her, that allowed her to do that, um it, she was able to sort of like flourish, right? Like, she didn't need to hide those things anymore. um and I think we did saw in the movie that she was a bit of a people pleaser, and that's kind of why it was, uh because she just kind of was afraid of fully being herself, right? uh for that, with when it comes to Mira, we still don't really know enough about her. So this, I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. I don't uh I don't really know how it connects to her life. Maybe she wished she would have shown who she really was, like, a lot earlier than she did, so then she would be able to like still have that connection with her family. I don't really know. We don't really know about her. But have you guys heard that there might be like a a second movie to this. I mean, it made so much money for Netflix. There is going to be a second one, right? I'm kind of hoping that it's kind of like a almost like a prequel, or it kind of like in The Incredibles, where it kind of starts at the same time, like where this one ends, and but we just get to see more of the backstory for each character. That would be awesome. That's that's my own personal fantasy. Somebody make it happen, please, and thank you. uh, and there everyone's like, show me what's underneath, right? Like, be who you really are, and I'll find your harmony. I'll still be able to match you where you are, even if you're like really low or like really high, or we're like in different places. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a way to connect with you. And again, like before, they were trying to write a song together and they couldn't because everybody was hiding something, and they weren't communicating very well slash at all. So now they were able to actually write this song. And after like being themselves, now they are no longer hiding. They are no longer uh feeling like they're like a rock bottom, right? They're rising. They are not alone anymore. They found their people, and they realize that they are accepting each other how they are, for who they are, without having to worry too much about that. Because now everyone's like, well, you're still you, even if you have weird patterns, and your dad was a demon apparently. And yeah, you might be a little bit ADHD or whatever, but you're still you. Like, that doesn't really change much. And again, it's just, I love this. At the beginning, I said it. I said that we can't do this alone, right? And this is what this movie was kind of like trying to emphasize, that once when they were alone, they were worse off, right? When they were together, they were able to accomplish what they needed to. But like, because that's what we need. We all need that community, and if we don't have that community, it's just it's really hard for us to be able to do anything, because we need someone to be there to support us, to validate us, someone to listen to us rant. We are always in need of another person. uh and here's the thing, this one, I really like this one as well, because then they go on to, they continue on admitting sort of like their, what they thought they were their weaknesses, or the things that they needed to be ashamed of and hide. They were like, yeah, we were cowards, we were liars, we're not heroes, but we're still survivors, right? So a lot of the times in our day to day, we don't necessarily feel like heroes, but my idea of a hero is someone who is doing sort of like the impossible. And when you're really struggling with depression and you can't get out of bed, but you still do, I feel like that's a heroic thing to do, right? Like, you're doing something for yourself, which is really difficult to accomplish. So I still think people are heroes. um, yeah, they survived. They were able to, well, like literally, like they were like still alive after fighting these demons or whatever. Um, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, so we were totally cowards, we were totally liars, we're not really the heroes we thought we were, but we have survived, and therefore we have now recognized that we are dreamers, that we are fighters, that we're not lying anymore, and that we're tired of lying." Right? But dive into the fire, and I'll be right by here by your side. You know how earlier I said that the one thing that we needed to do to overcome was to do things even though we were afraid. There you go. This is a better way to say it, I guess. Like, it's just like, and doing it with someone, right? Like, so I'm constantly looking like at my camera and like the lyrics and this other camera. So I'm sorry, I'm just looking everywhere. And again, it kind of where is it? So it kind of like the song repeats again, we broke into a million pieces, but this is who we are. We're not gonna no longer hide. This is what it sounds like, or this is essentially like this is who I am kind of song. Where is it? Here it is. Fearless and undefined. um Again, I really like these lyrics because it showcases how we kind of like it's okay for you to be afraid as long as you do it anyway. That's what it, for me, the definition of being brave is doing something even though you're afraid. It's not being afraid, because that you should be afraid. There's certain things you should be afraid of, like spiders. um but wait, I guess that's how I'm choosing to see this, where like I am afraid, but I'm still gonna be fearless. I'm still gonna push through. And undefined, right? Like earlier I was saying that all of these songs were about like fitting into this mold and being this thing that everybody else expected us to be. But now they're like, no, I'm broken from that mold, and I'm kind of undefined, and I can be whatever I want to be, kind of thing. And it is going to take them a while. It's probably going to be very difficult, but they could get there, and so can we. Yeah, the song just kind of like pretty much repeats itself. um for this one, how to um overcome, I guess, is well, hold on, let me go back a little bit. So for this song, I think the things that um hmm, that we need to pay more attention is in these two sort of like verses. So I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back. And the why did I cover up the colors to my head? Because those are the ones that I'm like, okay, so here's who I am, all broken and weird, but I still see the beauty. I'm still valuable. I'm still someone that is worth all of this. And I'm coming to you without any lie anymore, right? Like I didn't know how to do this. I tried, it didn't work, and I should have just shown you who I was instead of like trying to hide. So the way to for us to do this in real life is dun dun dun, dun, you know it, community. Finding a safe community, people who are just like you, just as broken but just as beautiful, people who are there regardless of what scars you have, because they too are showing you their scars. One of the in therapy, and I guess in my real life as well, I talk often. As you can see, I've started talking about how I have ADHD. I don't make it a thing. I just say, hey, ADHD, my anxiety. I went through a depressive state for a while. I don't try to hide it, because that encourages people to talk about their own, and to also acknowledge that they're not perfect, that we're only human, right? So finding people that will be like, hey, me too. Well, it might be a little bit different for me, but I've experienced something very similar. Is kind of what we want, the type of community that we want. Someone who is going to be like, I don't really understand why you love this character so much, or why you love going to conventions, but I'm going to support you. I'm going to go with you, and I'm not going to make like a long face or like be all upset about certain things. I'm just going to be there because I know it's important to you, kind of thing. That's the type of people we want in our life. And one easy way to find that is to visit the Psychology for Geeks Discord. We have a lot of lovely people there, and we are wait, what is it called? We do check the website, like to make sure that everybody is being kind and welcoming and all that stuff. So yeah, check us out. And I think it does depend on your particular situation. So again, I can't really say here's the way that you can find this community, but it can be helpful to find someone who shares the same passions as you, and that's kind of like a great way to get started. If you prefer to do it in person, then visit, the game shops, visit the local events that are going on, and be yourself, right? Be your quirky, broken self with scars and everything, because those are the people that you attract. The people that are going to understand you are the people that have experienced something similar, and therefore understand you a little bit better. And just, I guess, be aware that not everybody is going to be as welcoming as we wish they could be, or as we thought they could be. But that just means they're not the people we want to have in our life. And sometimes people do change, and we can encourage them and we can help them out a little bit. But after a while, we kind of have to decide whether we are going to continue helping this other person, or if we're going to prioritize ourselves, because not everyone is open and willing to go through a healing journey, like we are. So it makes it a little bit difficult. All right. So those were the three songs that I wanted to go over. I hope you found it helpful. Uh, and I didn't go off in rambles. That's why I took notes this time. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to. So blah. I am streaming this on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, so you can follow us on all three. Check out our website, of course, join our Discord. Continue being your quirk yourselves, and don't forget to refrain and re-enchant your lives. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.